Okay. Let's see what we can do here.
You're live on YouTube.
It's a small consolation. Both stations should be up.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
And young enough to do.
well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who'll bring the job a fresh new point of view? Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair?
We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you cast your vote for Kennedy and a change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Yes, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Oh, folks, I love technology. I love it like a splinter under your fingernail, like a bunion on your foot, like a wart that's in a really bad spot. And by the way, I was thinking of my hand, you dirty, dirty people. So I'm late. Totally. I am still trying to put the program together. Trying to pick up the pieces here. We had to do hard restart of the computer. Because just kind of had to. I'm not the only one that uses this computer. So sometimes some of the settings get a little goofy. So we had to fix that. I am trying to share it right now while talking to you, which normally doesn't go well. But because I am so late, I really don't have a choice but to try to do this while you and I are together. And by the way, I am very well aware of how boring this is. So let me welcome you to TKE tonight for the 18th of March 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, TCP Media Group, Hot101.net, and Ghost Claw Productions. I am in the midst, quite literally, in the middle of sharing the program to all of the groups that we try to share to whenever we are on the air. And there's about 100 of those roughly. And sincere thanks, of course, to everyone in all of the groups that allow us to be part of your group and to share the things there. And we immensely appreciate it. We could not do the program without you, of course, and nor would we want to. In all sincerity, in all honesty, we wouldn't want to. So we got about 100 different groups that we've gotten the program out to. Looks like I got that bit done. Let me see if I can do the YouTube really quickly, because I don't think George can do that one on his end. I'm going to try to do it on our end. It's a rough start, but it's alright. We're together. We're alive. At least for another week. And, it is what it is. It's first world problems. I'm almost there, folks. I promise. There we go. And post. Okay, maybe I can pay attention to my own show. That'd be nice. That'd be nice if I could pay attention to my own show. We are also live, of course, on the YouTube channels of Ghost Claw Productions Radio and That Other Side of Information. 2 YouTube channels, because gosh darn it, my ego is so huge, one channel can't contain it. So now we're on 2. Take that, everybody. Quick, also, of course, the radio program, audio of the program blasts around the globe via hot101.net. Our name is our web address. Any device, quite literally, that can connect to the internet can listen to hot101.net. You can listen right through our main website. Pick any kind of device you can listen for free. In today's modern times, free, good thing. Go for it. Free is a wonderful thing. You don't have to use the website, though, to listen. You can go to the Apple App Store and download our Apple app. Go to the Google Play Store, download our Android app. And on any other type of device, you can listen through the TuneIn radio app. You, of course, can also tell Alexa to play hot101.net. We're also going out, of course, on GCPR Live, GCPR Live, Ghost Claw Productions Radio .live. Listen on our website for free. Can't beat the price, folks, for free. You can find out everything you ever wanted to know about our station and more at our website, www.gcpr.live. We also have a fully functional Android app where you can listen to us as well, following us at 9 p.m. on hot101.net. The music returns on gcpr.live. Hurricane Girls from 9. Tonight at 11, Conversations with T. Nathan. Thomas returns tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. Let me also, of course, remind you about, as soon as I can find it to read it to you, Smooth California, smoothca.online. Smooth California, family-owned skincare formula whose main purpose is to promote a healthy skincare lifestyle. Smooth California is a healthy alternative to mass-produced commercial products filled with chemicals and man-made additives. They don't only damage your skin, they damage your body because they leak into the skin and circulate through the body. Smooth California products are tallow-based, made with 100% natural ingredients, no preservatives, no additives. We strive to make sure your skin stays healthy and smooth. Smooth California. smoothca.online. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Bit less viewers than normal, probably because we weren't on. So some folks probably went looking for us and couldn't find us. But we're here now. So let's get, shall we, jump straight into this. I've got a couple articles that I wanted to read, go through the top stories of the day. Where'd you go? What happened to all the things they just posted? Oh, I know where they are. Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, let me say this too. And this is going to feed into the articles that I want to talk about. George, of course, is here as well. You can see that beguiling handsome devil on your screen. Fresh off of another episode of the help desk. What did I miss on the help desk? Anything?
No, we just talked about the wonderful Cybertruck and the Tesla dealership. But actually, we were talking about the technology of, the Teslas or the Teslers.
Yeah, if you have that'd be a Long Island accent, wouldn't it? If you put the R in there, isn't that?
Yeah, the Tesla.
Or South, yeah, that might be right.
Kind of like an Alabama accent. I don't know, maybe like a Tesla like that. But Trump is going to get it wrong. So.
Well, he gets a lot of things wrong. But then again, it has a lot to do with this program. It provides endless comments for the program. Let me get into this really quickly, and I wish there were so many more of you here for obvious reasons, because I'm an egomaniac, but also I just wish there were more of you here. On the America One radio network, as well as Progressive Voices on the TuneIn app. Progressive Voices is actually its own app as well. From 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time is Mike Malloy. Maybe you've heard of Mike Malloy. He was part of Air America. It's where I first discovered him. He is as brash. When I say brash, I don't think he's not like a shock jock kind of brash, but he is now that his show is primarily a podcast online and no commercial radio stations whatsoever. The man knows how to use an F word. He's really good at it. I don't know if he's as good as Thomas, but he's close. And ironically, he also lives in the mountains of northern Georgia. It's probably not all that far from Thomas, to be honest. But Mike Malloy is and has been one of the preeminent progressive radio hosts in the country, probably for, well, I would say since Air America, so you're probably talking 20 years or more now. And he's highly entertaining. He's exceptionally smart. Powerfully sarcastic. But he just knows what he's doing. It's good radio. It's entertaining. It's something you want to listen to. Now, look, for my friends and family here at GCPR, I don't want you to skip their shows for Mike Malloy. But you get my point. You can always get Malloy on a podcast. He does what we do here, not because we do it. God, Mike Malloy could stand in this room. We could be the only two people in this room. He probably still couldn't pick me out of a lineup. So he's not doing anything because I'm doing it. Believe me, I'm not setting any trends. But he does his program live. He does then an extra hour for paid subscribers, and then the entire thing lives on as a podcast. And the reason I bring him up is because I was listening. I don't know when this actually started. I don't know if my mother, when I was a small child, put music on for me to try to get me to sleep. I don't know what it is. I can't sleep in complete silence, which sounds ridiculous. Like some people can sleep with the TV on in the bedroom. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. It's too bright. It would keep me awake. Although I can fall asleep in front of the TV downstairs in my recliner, but not in my bedroom. So I put the radio on to fall asleep. And I usually put talk radio on because I tend to listen to it. It tends to occupy my brain. Tries to get, well, not tries. Normally, most nights, will get my brain to quiet down and give me something to focus on. And then I fall asleep. Now, with this illness that I have that I will completely tell you about on Sunday, sleeping's been a bit easier. I'm infinitely more tired, but I'm also sleeping more, but I'm not getting anything out of the sleep. Although in recent days, I've been up at night thinking about what's coming. And again, I will tell you all about that on Sunday. So I was listening to him last night before I fell asleep. And maybe this is terribly egotistical of me. I've always told you here on the program that I don't think any of my revelations with you are new or particularly well, I mean, I guess they're insightful, but I sure as hell don't think I'm the first person making the point. Let's put it that way. I might think I'm terribly clever, but I'm sure somebody out there has made the point before me, or arrived at the same point of thinking as I have. But I've been talking to you on this program. We had this discussion back and forth, disagreement, respectful, lovely debate, by the way, which is all too rare in this country now. With our guest on Sunday, Liz Mkhitaryan. I've told you on this program infinite times now, the democracy in this country is dead. We are no longer a small d democratic nation. We are a fascist nation. We have a dictator who is moving further and further to consolidate that power and become a complete authoritarian. Well, last night I heard Mike Malloy say exactly that. And I have to admit, as ridiculous as it might sound, as terribly egotistical as it might sound, and as much as I was trying to get comfortable and fall asleep, I definitely pat myself on the back. Because I couldn't help but think to myself, I've been saying this since November. And it's the first time. Now, to be fair, I do not listen to Mike Malloy every single night. But I happened to last night. And I just couldn't help but think to myself, we've been saying that for a long time now. I'd love to have Mr. Malloy on this program. I don't think there's a snowball's chance, and you know where, that he's going to come here. But who knows? Maybe we'll throw something out and give it a shot. But my point is, it was interesting to hear him say something that we've been saying on this program for a long time. That democracy, small d democracy, the classification of the United States as the world's preeminent democracy, longest continuously operating, if you will, democracy, simply isn't the case anymore. Think of those signs that you see at certain places of business that say, so many days without an accident. Well, we were on 258 years, 257 and a half years of democracy. Wait, did I do that right? 2026 is the 250th anniversary, so by the end of November 24, you'd be looking at under two, just shy of 18 months, shall we say. So that would be 280 math, Jeffrey, math. 248 and a half years, roughly, of democracy. And then, but the sign on our workplace says days without an accident would take us back to January 20th. Because there isn't democracy in this country anymore. We're a fascist nation. We're a fascist nation. We have a fascist government run by a fascist party owned by billionaires who have decided that fascism makes them more money. It kills, it steals rights, it belittles, it besmirches, it marginalizes the 99% of the rest of us economically. But it's great for billionaires. It's great for Trump Republicans. They make money from the billionaires that own them. Fascism is great for them. The richest people in this country used to think that democracy was good for them. They have changed their minds. They have found that totalitarianism, fascism, is good for them. And it is. So to hear someone as prolific and preeminent and popular and well known and in a handful collection of progressive hosts that most of you would be able to identify. I mean, I consider that group to be Tom Hartman, Randy Rhodes, Stephanie Miller, David Pakman, although I'm not a particular fan of David Pakman, Dean Obeidallah, John Fugelsang, Michelangelo Signorelli, like a handful of really preeminent progressive hosts. Mike Malloy's in that group. And to hear him say what we've been saying on this program and what, justify, if you will, a conclusion that I came to months ago, makes me think that maybe I'm onto something here. He spent most of his program last night saying, do you get this, folks? Reading stories the way I do, and then saying, do you understand what's happening here, folks? Do you get this? Does it make sense to you? Have you come to the realization now that this is who we are? We're a fascist nation, drifting ever deeper into complete totalitarianism, and that Trump will be in the White House until he dies. And whether that's a year from now, 10 years from now, or 50 years from now. Because the fact that he's still alive now, given the way he lives his life, is truly shocking. If any of us lived that way, we wouldn't make it. But it felt very not reassuring. That's not the right word. I felt very vindicated to hear somebody as prolific as Mike Malloy say something like that. Now, other hosts have said, democracy's not dead yet. I think it is. I don't think it's buried, but it's at the wake, and we're all looking at it. We're all in line looking at it at the wake. And I've culled a couple stories to try to make my point. From the Associated Press, headline, Roberts rejects Trump's call for impeaching judge who ruled against his deportation plans. So Trump and the billionaires control Congress. They own it. Trump has done nothing but steal power from the legislature, and that's what Congress is. It's the national legislature. They've taken power, and the Republican Congress has ceded power to Trump, and he's been all but happy to take it. The constitutional balance between the three branches no longer exists. By far, the most powerful branch in the government is the executive, and that's where your dictator comes from. The framers created a government with three co-equal branches: the judiciary, Congress, and the executive. The executive, the legislative, and the judicial. But they listed Congress first, the first among equals. The executive is listed second, the judicial branch third. But Congress, in its do-nothing status, under Republican control, has ceded most of their responsibilities, checks and balances, to the executive, helping to grow this totalitarian, this dictator. If Trump is the plant in the ground, Congress has given the fertilizer and the water and then walked away. Let me go back to the article again. I've got a couple articles that are going to highlight, I think, what I hope highlight is this conclusion that we have come to on this program for months now, and that Mike Malloy came to last night, or at least, to be fair, the first time I heard it, or heard him say it. And again, the first of any of the big hosts, or the big progressive hosts that I heard actually say this and agree with us. Dateline Washington. This is written by Chris Magirian, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Lindsay Whitehurst and Mark Sherman are the three authors of this article, posted today and updated not that long ago. In an extraordinary display of conflict between the executive and the judiciary branches, Chief Justice John Roberts rejected calls for impeaching judges on Tuesday, today, shortly after President Trump demanded the removal of one who ruled against his deportation plans. The rebuke from the Supreme Court's leader demonstrated how the controversy over recent deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members has inflamed tensions over the judiciary's role, with a legal case challenging Trump's actions now threatening to spiral into a clash of constitutional powers. Quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision," Roberts said. "The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose." The rare statement came just hours after a social media post from Trump, who described U.S. District Judge James E. Boasberg as an unelected troublemaker and agitator. Kind of sounds like Musk. Boasberg had issued an order blocking deportation flights that Trump was carrying out by invoking wartime authorities from the 18th century. There's another federal judge who ruled, and I don't have his name in front of me, and I'm embarrassed to say that I don't. I should have found it, but we were so late coming on the air, I was trying to fix everything. There's a judge who ruled against Trump administration regarding USAID. Trump then posted on his Truth Social platform that the judge should be shot at. He is now under 24-hour security, added security, to make sure that he's not murdered. So why did I pick this article? To try to emphasize and backstop what I'm saying about fascism. This is what fascists do. This is what dictators do. When someone stands to disagree with them, they call for their murder. And they try to delegitimize the position they hold. Trump has already neutered Congress. Although I would argue Congress has neutered itself voluntarily. He now has to neuter the judicial branch, leaving the executive, as the only functioning branch of government. Trump 2.0 has already made routine ignoring judicial judgments against them, because the great weakness of the judiciary is that it has no law enforcement function. A federal district court judge who decides that something that Trump is doing is unconstitutional, which then makes it illegal, has no enforcement power. They can't dispatch police officers to go arrest Trump for 2 reasons. They don't have a police force, and the Supreme Court gave Trump immunity. the law in this country is very much of almost a leap of faith, an honor system, if you will, that when two parties come in front of a judge who has no enforcement mechanisms whatsoever, and the judge makes a ruling, it's up to the two parties to live up to that ruling. And heretofore, administrations from Washington to Obama, we skipped Trump in the first term, and then Biden did exactly that. That when their executive orders were litigated and the judiciary said you can't do that, the administrations abided by those decisions. This administration is ignoring them. In and of itself, unconstitutional. You cannot ignore the Constitution when it's convenient for you. And that's exactly what's happening. That's what dictators do. That's 1850s, early 1860s Confederates, United States. That's 1920s Italy. That's 1930s Germany. That's Spain from the 30s to the 70s. I mean, Franco was the dictator of Spain for 50 years, I think, or something along those lines. Randall will tell me. That's what fascists do. That's what Orban is doing now in Hungary. That's what Putin does. Destroy the legislative branch. Destroy the judicial branch. Take over the media. And that's what you're left with. Now I have another article to illustrate what we're talking about. And again, I look, you all may not listen to radio the way I do. You may not love radio. I happen to love the medium of radio the way I do. But again, Mike Malloy agreeing with these things is a BFD to me. It really has reinforced to me that what we're doing here means something. That we've come to a conclusion that a man who makes a living and has made a living for a couple of decades doing this has reached the same conclusion that we reached here months ago. If you don't know who Mike Malloy is, then you're thinking, the hell do I care what he thinks? But I think if you listened to him, you would. 38 until the late 80s? Was it the late 80s? I thought he died in the 70s. By the way, as a kid, I only learned about Franco from Saturday Night Live. No, he had to die in the 70s. Because I remember Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live saying General Milicio Francisco Franco is still dead. Nobody else remembers that joke. Anyway, I'm dating myself. Another article that illustrates, I think, the Constitution the conclusion that we have come to about fascism in this country is the following. Again, from the Associated Press. Headline: Judge rules dodges U.S. aid dismantling likely violates the Constitution. All those sick, ignorant fools who thought Trump was going to reestablish the Constitution. He probably couldn't read through it. He's violated his oath of office with every breath he has taken, in both terms. The Constitution is something he uses to rile up his base and then shits all over when it's convenient. I'm not so sure he'd recognize a copy of it if it was held up in front of him. Do I believe this because he himself is ignorant? No. I've told you before, Trump is not a dumb man. He's stupid, and he's willfully stupid about certain things. The things that don't interest him, or things he doesn't agree with. But he's not dumb. This is an article written by Lindsay Whitehurst and Michael Kunzelman of the Associated Press, posted today. I strongly continue to recommend to you the Associated Press app. It's very easy to use. It's free. No limits on the articles that you can read, or at least not that I've seen so far. You can donate to them. They do not require that you pay them. Dateline Washington, the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development by billionaire Elon Musk's dodgy department. I added that commentary. Department of Government Efficiency. Likely violated the United States Constitution. A federal judge ruled Tuesday, today, he indefinitely blocked Dodgy from making further cuts to the agency. The order requires the Trump administration to restore email and computer access to all employees of USAID, including those put on administrative leave. Though it stopped short of reversing the firings or fully resurrecting the agency. We mentioned on Sunday the building that USAID was housed in has been given to another department. They don't even have a headquarters. Trump 2.0 is moving with tactical, blitzkrieg-like speed, if not efficiency and success, but at least that same amount of speed. I don't know what George is working on, but it's bloody serious. He is. I see the screens have got him lit up. It's freaking important, whatever it is. There's a seriousness to what's happening there, unlike here. He's very serious about what's happening.
Sending an email to Mike Malloy to have him on the Sunday show.
There's not a chance that's going to happen.
I asked him. I played the sick card. I'm not going to say what it is, but I played the sick card.
We're doing that Sunday.
Doing that Sunday. Okay.
Or when I get back.
We'll
but I would say this. Remember, George and I have said this on the program before, too. Do you see Mike Malloy on the program now? No. So if I ask him and he says no, have I lost anything? No. In fact, George was the one, folks, who told me I should contact Joe Walsh. And I did, and boom, he came on the program. So, and I actually should reach out to him again. Perhaps I'll try to arrange that for one of my return programs. But we'll get to that. Let me get back to the article.
Sorry.
Musk's public statements and social media posts demonstrate that he has, quote, firm control over Dodgy. The judge found, pointing to an online post where Musk said he had, quote, fed USAID into the wood chipper. Imagine a man who's worth $400 billion being so upset that any of his tax dollars would go toward the $20 to $40 million or so, about 1/1000% of his total wealth, to feed starving children in Africa. Imagine being worth $4 billion. And that one, I can't do that kind of math. I don't have the right kind of calculator. Whatever 40 million is out of 4 billion, I think it's 1/1000th. At most, it's 1/100th. Imagine that 1/1000th of your total wealth was literally feeding millions of kids across Africa, and being so damn upset about it that you had to shut the whole agency down. That's psychopathic. Are you leaving me? I'm saying goodbye to you right on the air. Come here and kiss my cheek. Damn it. My wife is going to work now. Are you leaving? Honestly, you're leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Geez, you can wait 10 minutes? It'll be done in 9 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's a good show. You should tune in occasionally. It's pretty fun. Yeah, you should listen to it every now and then. I do it from your house. You may. It's pretty good. Imagine being that psychopathic. Imagine being that. I lost George. And it's a good show. You should tune in occasionally. It's not that bad. It's on a couple of radio stations. We're actually going to get a couple more, I think. Imagine being that sick. Let's just say it. Imagine being that mentally sick. That 1/1000th of your total net worth feeding, starving, let's be honest, black children all across Africa enraged you to such a point that you had to shut it down. Now, as Randall very properly pointed out months ago, a connection that my brain did not make. Musk grew up in apartheid South Africa. His family left South Africa when apartheid fell. He hates black people. He loved the caste system, the apartheid system of South Africa. When it gave way, he left, and he'd love to recreate it here. And he's doing a bloody good job of doing it so far. The judge said it's likely that USAID is no longer capable of performing some of its statutory required functions. Quote, taken together, these facts support the conclusion that USAID has been effectively eliminated, the judge wrote in a preliminary injunction. The lawsuit filed by USAID employees and contractors argued that Musk and Dodgy are wielding power that the Constitution reserves for only those who win elections or are confirmed by the Senate. Their attorneys said the ruling, quote, effectively halts or reverses many of the steps taken to dismantle the agency. You have a federal judge telling you and telling the plaintiffs and the defendants in the courtroom in front of him that what has been done to USAID is unconstitutional. This judge's ruling is also being ignored by Trump 2.0. This is what fascism looks like. This is what dictators do. It becomes easy. It becomes standard. It becomes all that not extraordinary to violate and ignore the Constitution when it happens on a daily basis. Again, this is the frog in the boiling water. We become numb to a dictator and a fascist political party and the fascist billionaires that own and control them. It becomes standard operating procedure to ignore the Constitution and violate the oath of office they all took when it happens literally every minute of every day. It's easy to ignore and violate one of our nation's foundational documents when you never believed in it in the first place. Trump doesn't believe in it. Musk doesn't believe in it. The billionaires who own them don't believe in it. Well, there's no billionaires that own Musk, but you get my point. The billionaires that own the former Republican Party. They don't believe in it. They think the Constitution is a hindrance to them, to owning and controlling everything. Trump's called for the Constitution to be suspended. He has effectively done that already. We haven't even reached Thursday. Is March 20th. January, February, 2 months of this administration. He's effectively neutered the Constitution. He's openly talked about changing the Constitution to allow him to be dictator for life, to codify the fact that corporations are people, to eliminate taxes on rich people. Project 2025. He's broken his oath of office with every breath he has taken. He broke it before he swore it. He broke it in his first 4 years. Before he ever finished saying the oath of office, which, by the way, never put his hand on a Bible to take, he violated every fracking word of it. We are not a democratic nation anymore. That ended on January 20th. Arguably, it ended on November 4th. I'd say it's a 3-step process. Maybe a 4-step process. Trump's first term, November 4th, 2024. January 2nd, 2025, when the new Congress was sworn in. And then January 20th. And I'm not talking about Democratic, the Democratic Party. I'm talking small d Democratic. I knew it. I said it to you. Now Mike Malloy knows it. And when bigger and bigger voices start to say these things out loud, as a matter of fact, hopefully other folks will come along as well and realize where we are. It's about all the time that we have for tonight. I apologize deeply for being late. It definitely affected viewership. I've been looking at the numbers. There's almost nobody here. But at least the program will live on in a recorded fashion, and hopefully most of you will catch it. This has been TKE Tonight for the 18th of March, 2025. I almost said 2024, which would have been stupid because it isn't. For everyone at hot101.net, that's DJ. Well, let me say this. The music returns on Hot 101 as soon as we sign off. GCPR.live, it's time for Hurricane Girls, T. Nathan from 11, Thomas tomorrow morning at 8. For George and I, we return to you on Thursday. And don't forget our big Sunday program from 6 p.m. Eastern Time, my last program, for an undetermined amount of time. I will explain all of that on Sunday. Our guests include Pastor Gia Clinton, who's a host right here on GCPR. She hosts Heart to Heart Wednesdays, George, from 9 to 11. No, yes, from 9 to 11.
9 to 11, yes.
Wednesdays, though. It's not
Yeah.
Thursdays. Wednesdays.
Yes.
Pastor Matthew Best, who of course is a host here at GCPR. He hosts In Polite Company the
Every third Sunday.
Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
And Pastor Kevin Frederick, who has been a guest of ours before, returns to the program. I am working on trying to get a rabbi and an imam onto the program that we can cover the 3 major Abrahamic religions. We're going to be talking about, of course, one of my favorite... How did my email not go through? He gave me his own... Whatever.
And the email I just sent
the email
out
that
today,
he gave me, that Pastor Best gave me, failed. So I have to get to Pastor Best again. Trying to get a rabbi and an imam to join us. We'll be talking about, of course, one of my favorite topics, religion and politics. And then we're going to talk a couple of lighthearted discussions about death, life, and what comes next.
And
After we leave this
we
plane,
might have a surprise Sunday. Maybe Mike Malloy will be on.
We'll see.
You never know.
I'll not hold my breath. But after we leave this plane, what comes next? Lighthearted stuff, easy, lighthearted stuff. Anyway,
If the plane landed upside down,
anyway,
I know
lighthearted stuff. Anyway, we're running a little late. We need to go. For everybody at Hot101.net, DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and the entire Hot101.net family, we will see you again Thursday night from 8 p.m. The music resumes right now. For everyone at GCPR, Thomas, Gilbert, Gambit, Gretchen, Solid Blue Sister, I can't name everybody, and I'm not going to try. Pastor Clinton and Pastor Best, I just said that. Hurricane Girls, coming up right after us. We'll see you again Thursday from 8. Hurricane Girls starts right now. For those of you on our streaming and simulcasting video services, thanks for being with us. Sorry we were late. It's all video. It's all technical issues. The other technical issue is I should probably say the words I mean to say, not the words that are flying out of my face. I'm not making any sense. We'll see you again Thursday night from 8 p.m. Don't forget our big show on Sunday. We'll see you